Hello. I don't suppose many of us in this country, in the UK, have come across an organisation called Roskomnadzor. This is the sort of overseeing organisation in Russia that is tasked with controlling social media. And it's very powerful. It's run by a man called Andrei Lipov. And what's worrying is he's now got a tool to do the job that he actually has been wanting to do for some time. And so, for example, in 2018, Russia was being very aggressive towards a number of social media outlets, particularly a thing called Telegram, and lots of my friends moved on to communicating by Telegram rather than using Skype or LinkedIn. LinkedIn was completely shut down, but it was very difficult to control. It was possibly easier to shut down, but difficult to control. And unlike China, which has got three main state-run internet providers, internet servers, Russia has got many. Roskomnadzor, MTS, Megafon, and so on. And now, there's a tool which has been developed which is called Deep Packet Inspection, DPI, which allows the government to monitor in real time what people are putting out and to control that. Now, at the moment, yes, of course, this is sort of making news because this is a tool which is being deployed by what can only be described as a tyrannous government. Andrei Lipov, this head of Roskomnadzor, says that he claims that it's being used for ostensibly sensible things, like we must control the most dangerous things. It's very Russian, and then he lists these most dangerous things: child pornography, suicide, drugs, extremism, the fake news. What he doesn't list, and what comes out elsewhere, is another rather well-worded prohibition, and that is disrespect for authority. And that covers so much. And what we've seen in the last 9 months, as this deep packet inspection tool has been deployed, is a slowdown of things like Twitter. Twitter is now 10 times slower than it was in March. Putin has made no secret of his hatred for social media and suspicion of it. He calls it he calls the internet a CIA project. It's a Western threat. He regards the web itself as a threat, because it's something which up till now he has not been able to control. What is ironic is, if you go back 30 years, it was social media in its infancy that propelled Boris Yeltsin, and therefore, by sort of ironical reality, Mr. Putin himself, it propelled Yeltsin into the Kremlin, because people were able to send messages through social media and to engineer his support and the collapse of the Soviet Empire. But now we've got, as I say, we've got this perfect security tool, this perfect censorship tool, DPI, which can be hidden in the Russian servers, and it's already there. If you go to Russia and you get a computer account or a phone account, it will be there. It will be on your system. You will be monitored. It's from the West's point of view, we will probably say it's a shameful act of political censorship. But the point of this video really is to say that if the tool is there, I can see every possibility that somebody in our government may find it useful to use something similar. You can imagine Priti Patel deploying deep packet inspection. Disrespect! You will not disrespect! she would say, censor, obliterate your internet. And I can think there's in Russia there's people like I can't put another pair of glasses on. There's people like there's a fellow called Alexei in Novgorod, and he tweeted about a Navalny rally, and he tried to get around it, I think, by tweeting in English and tweeting in the negative. Apophatic. We would call this apophatic if we were talking about theology. That Putin doesn't want you to go to the place you shouldn't go, the place you mustn't go. Brilliant, but it was still caught. Things like VK, Vkontakte, which was the sort of Russian version of LinkedIn. I think I got an account there, but much easier to control because it's Russian, and of course the language which is used there is Russian, but this deep packet introspection is part of the campaign to have a sovereign internet campaign, and we hear rumblings of the same thing in the Home Office from pretty. Let me come into the office, because I'd like to show you something. Something I did. Bay is working on it at the moment, but it's something I did in. Oh my goodness! In 2014. Look, here's one of my earlier caricatures of Mr. Putin. I think it's quite accurate, but here, this is how I got to it. Is from my sketchbook, but this is on my blog, animatetim.com. There's a number of them. I quite enjoy caricaturing Mr. Putin, but we've heard there's a fellow called Siberian or something, and he put up a caricature of Mr. Putin and Mr. Medvedev as the two heads of the Russian eagle, and he was quite severely slapped down by this tool. And as I say, it's here in Russia, it's active in Russia, it's effective in Russia, and it could be here in the UK tomorrow and used, deployed by our Home Office. I worry about the power that is at the disposal now and that has been tested, tried, and proven to be effective. This is this imposes on our free speech, and we need to be very careful about how this story pans out, because it's not just a Russian story. So anyway, look, do follow the. You will know from looking at my channel. I support people who talk out. I support people I don't even agree with, because I like debate. This is a tool which is going to suppress the one thing I consider valuable. One of the reasons that our democracy, one of the reasons our government has not been working effectively in the last few years is because we haven't had that debate. We haven't had a reliable opposition to challenge and hold the government to account. And if the opposition isn't doing that job, we expect the press or the satirists, the comedians to do that. And they are not doing the job either. We are all in hock to a single message. That is worrying for a democracy. And if our means of expression can be challenged, if the tools exist to control our speech more, they will be deployed. And we must take every step to make sure that doesn't happen. Because once deployed, there's no pulling back. Do follow the channel, do ring the bell, and do let me know what you think.